We are live here at the 33rd Annual Home and Garden Show at the Ernst and Young Center, just off of Uplands Road. Now, we are at the Dream Garden. Joining me now, Tim Kearney, owner and president of Garden Creations. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Sarah.
So, okay, the Dream Garden is amazing. It was created and installed by Garden Creations, but there are a few other partners who are involved as well. Who are some of the other suppliers?
Absolutely. The main suppliers are Permacon, who supplied all this wonderful material that we're standing on, and the retaining wall material that we actually installed. Greeley Sand and Gravel helped supply the mulch and the soil. We had plant material shipped up from Toronto from some of our suppliers in Toronto. Greenscape Watering Systems helped install the lighting for the gardens. Lanark Cedar provided these pergolas that are here that we're sitting underneath. And then, of course, with the lovely lounges that we're on is by the Fireplace Center.
Would you like to get up and take a little stroll through the Dream Garden?
I would love to.
Okay. So, Tim, what was the purpose of installing the massive Dream Garden here at the Home and Garden Show?
Quite frankly, we like to show off. And what this industry needs to do is show the public the professional side of gardening that's available in this city. Through Landscape Ontario, there are many, many members of Landscape Ontario in the Ottawa area, and we strongly suggest that the public do ask for credentials and ask to see if they are members of Landscape Ontario, because that gives you a certain level of standard, a certain level of expertise. And so what we're trying to do is show the public what you can do, in this case with a fairly large space, but this very same concept could be reduced to a small garden and be used in somebody's small backyard. Gardening is so incredibly popular now, and it's just to show people the sky's the limit. Think outside the box. Think of all the different elements you may want and try it. It just gives you a wonderful space to enjoy with your family.
Now, I know that you can work with pretty much any size of space, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, does my backyard or whatever space I have adjoined to my house, does it need to be a certain material on the ground? Does it have to be grass or dirt, or can you work with pretty much anything?
You know what? Some of the neatest gardens we've ever done are the tiniest ones. Look at your space, your backyard, whatever size it is, look at it as an extension to your living space. So it's literally an outdoor living room. Think of it that way. So you can have a small living room and do something pretty cool with, and you can have a very large one and do something pretty cool with. So no matter how big it is, as long as it's properly designed, that's the key. You got to start with a design and deal with a good quality, reputable Landscape Ontario member firm, you'll get your product.
And when you're looking at a space, how do you determine what design will be the best use of the size and diameters that you have and what's surrounding it?
You know what? The thing I like to say a lot to clients is I'll work with you to create your garden, because budgets come into mind.
Of course.
So you have to sit and chat with the client and find out what it is they're trying to achieve. And then as the expert, we'll recommend the plants that will do well there. We'll recommend the material that will do best for whatever elevations they have, what type of space they have, whether or not they have children, whether or not they're retired, whether or not they have dogs at home. All of these things have to come into play, and then we create it and install it, and they have their room, their outdoor room.
So, Tim, I've got to be honest with you. In past years, when I've had green space to work with, I'll go through all of the trouble of buying the bulbs and planting the flowers and doing the initial work. But then I find throughout the summer it becomes a little bit tedious to keep up with the upkeep. Is there a lot of upkeep with Garden Creations?
With creating gardens?
Yes.
You have to always maintain a garden. It's a living, breathing thing, right? So there's always going to be a weed that will grow, but you can design a garden to make it easier to take care of. And a lot of that is based on your time. So if you don't have a lot of time, you have to talk to your designer and say, you know what? I don't have a lot of time. I don't want to do a lot. So there is always maintenance. You're always going to have to remove spent flowers. You're always going to have to pull the odd weed. And if there's grass, you're always going to have to cut grass.
Right.
So that's part of it. But that's an enjoyable part. I can't provide you a lawn that's not going to grow, and I can't provide you a tree that's not going to have leaves that fall from it in the fall. But there is a bit of gardening. A well-designed garden can give you some maintenance. Just proper use of mulches, proper use of weed barriers and fabrics.
Okay.
It all works.
Tim, thank you very much.
Love it. Thank you.
And when you swing by the Home and Garden Show, make sure you come and check out the Dream Garden. It's in the far, you initially go right, and then it's in the far back left-hand corner. We have plenty to come throughout the morning from the Home and Garden Show.